I think we'll get started. And for those of you who are listening live, and we're also recording this so that many others can participate and hear the information. My name's Garrett Sheehan. I'm the President and CEO of Greater New Haven Chamber of Commerce. And we're really excited to have the Neighborhood Housing Services of New Haven team with us here today so that we can talk more about the Neighborhood Assistance Act. And so I want to introduce Jim Paley, who is the Executive Director of Neighborhood Housing Services of New Haven, to take us through and along with his team. Jim?
Oh, all right. Let me just Judy is just changing my name. For some reason, I'm listed as Lucy. So
oh, yeah. No worries. Yeah, we see it, and we'll get the right name up there as well.
Okay.
Am I able to share my screen?
Yes.
Okay, great. Very good. Thank you, Judy.
Okay, great. And Jim, you can take it from here.
Okay, very good. So Lucy, you're going to share your screen with people so you can see everything that's going on. But I wanted to just welcome everybody to this presentation. It gives me great pleasure to be able to describe a program called the Neighborhood Assistance Act that benefits nonprofit organizations like ours and also provides tax breaks for the companies that participate. We're involved with energy conservation, both in terms of loans, grants, and also implementing our energy conservation measures in the houses that we either rehabilitate or construct. And because of the energy conservation, the state has made the 100% tax credits available to us. We have been approved as an organization. We have 3 different programs. Corporations can contribute up to $150,000. And we really want to be able to get people to understand the program, how it benefits the companies, and most importantly, it gets people an opportunity to contribute to our organization without it costing them anything. I don't know. I see a screen that's been shared, but it's in pieces. Do all of you have a clear screen share here? Could you see what's on the screen share?
No, it's looking jumbled.
It's looking jumbled. It's looking jumbled to me too. There we go.
It's better.
Okay, there we go. Okay, very good. Thank you so much. So, I'll at this point I've given the introduction. I'll let Janellis give the introduction about us, and then we'll go in rotating fashion through the it's only 8 slides, so we'll be able to go through this quickly and leave opportunities to people for questions and answers afterwards. So, Jet, why don't you take it from here?
Hi, my name is Jet Janellis. I use they, them pronouns. I'm the Resource Development Manager at Neighborhood Housing Services of New Haven. We are a 501c3 sustainability and affordable housing nonprofit that has been instrumental in revitalizing underserved neighborhoods throughout New Haven. Oh, Lucy, can we go to the next slide? Well, in our 45 years of existence, we have rehabilitated and constructed almost 300 single and multifamily properties, creating safe, affordable, and energy efficient housing units, units of housing for over 500 families, and 174 multifamily homeownership opportunities for low and moderate income, first time and often first generation home buyers. So pictured here is a typical rehabilitation project. On the left is the date that we acquired the house in, and on the right is what we were able to turn it into. We also perform new constructions. In all of our housing, we implement energy efficiency measures, which I'll touch on a little bit later in our presentation. Alongside our affordable housing production, we also do community building and organizing work, running a resident leadership program, and connecting people with community gardens that we manage. Primarily in New Hallville, but in underserved communities across the city. We also provide energy efficiency counseling and classes in sustainability practices like organic gardening. And then our homeownership, I can't see the slide, unfortunately, Lucy. And our homeownership center also provides.
What are you guys seeing? Well, I have it shared on my end.
It just says click to exit full screen, and there's nothing there.
Can you see my screen now?
I can, but it still says click to exit full screen. Oh, I see it
Okay,
now.
I'm just not gonna do it on presenter mode because it's glitching. Sorry. So
No worries. Could you just zoom in so we could see it through the window?
yeah. Is
Yeah.
this better?
Yeah.
Okay.
And our homeownership center provides home buyer and financial literacy counseling to prepare people to become homeowners. So since 1979, in our 45 years of operation, we have created 297 affordable properties sold to families. We have put 12,000 people through our HOC counseling program for the financial literacy and home buyer programs, and then put 1,000 people through, 1,000 people have received energy counseling as well.
So the basics behind the Jay, could you mute? The basics behind the program is that the Neighborhood Assistance Act provides tax credits to C corporations, specifically corporations that pay taxes through Chapter 207, 208, 209, 210, 211, and 212. I should note that that means that companies that are Subchapter S corporations and LLCs are not eligible to participate because they typically don't pay those kinds of taxes. The Neighborhood Assistance Act program gives the option to donate up to $150,000 per year to an eligible nonprofit energy efficiency project that they can then deduct up to 100% from their current or immediate past 2-year state tax liabilities. The application for this opportunity is open from September 15th to October 2nd and is going to be handled through the Connecticut Department of Revenue Services.
Okay, so there are two different kinds of tax credits that are available. One is 60% tax credits and one is 100% tax credits. The main difference is that the 100% tax credits are designed for energy conservation programs, whether it's implementing energy conservation measures on new construction or rehabilitated houses, or making energy conservation grants or deferred loans to income eligible homeowners. So those are the two main categories. The 60% tax credits basically, and we're going to talk about the difference. Raymond is going to talk about the difference between tax credits and tax deductions in a moment. But the 60% means that you get a direct credit for 60% of the contribution you make for the nonprofit. And the 100% tax credits obviously are dollar for dollar tax credit that are actually secured through the Department of Revenue Services and directly offset your tax liability.
Okay. Did you?
Okay, so NHS actually has 3 separately incorporated 501c3 organizations that work in strategic alignment to enact our comprehensive strategy for neighborhood revitalization. And each of these 3 has an eligible energy conservation project for which your contribution will receive a 100% tax credit. And that offers you a variety of choices in how you can invest in us and in the communities we serve in the greater New Haven area and beyond. So our first one is through Neighborhood Housing Services of New Haven, and that is our energy conservation implementation on rehabilitated houses. It's also on new construction because we do both new construction and rehabilitated projects. So for that first program, you would support our use of innovative energy-saving technology like tankless water heaters or solar tube lighting or Energy Star certified appliances. So you would be supporting our ability to put those measures into our housing projects. So this helps homeowners and renters put money back in their wallet by reducing their utility costs. It improves the safety, health, and comfort of their homes. It reduces their energy utilization and overall increases the sustainability of their homes and their longevity as a homeowner. And then the second one is the New Haven Homeownership Centers project, which is I Heart My Home Supplemental Energy Grants. So by contributing to this project, you would support our homeownership counseling and education programs efforts to help their counseling clients make energy retrofits in their homes. So even if they wouldn't qualify for traditional financing options. And they would do that with our I Heart My Home grants and forgivable loans for income eligible homeowners. The I Heart My Home grants are a supplement to our I Heart My Home energy counseling program. Through that program, we provide free energy counseling for residents across the state who are looking to make improvements to their homes. So this would be to help HOC clients. And then the third one would be similar to that last one, but it would be it would support the forgivable loan program for income eligible homeowners rather than restricted to HOC clients specifically. So that's 3 different opportunities that you can contribute to and that you can receive your tax credit for.
Yeah, I'd just like to jump in. Wendy Natter just commented about the fact that the college loan forgiveness programs are also eligible for 100% tax credits, and that is true. That's, I believe, new this year, but we don't really have experience with that, and I'm not really all that knowledgeable about it. But there is a third category of programs that do qualify for the 100% tax credits.
Sure. So the difference between a tax credit and a tax deduction are that tax credits directly reduce the amount of your tax liability or increase your tax refund if your contribution exceeds your amount of tax liabilities for that year. So say you have $5,000 in tax liabilities, you contribute $10,000, you could be eligible for a $5,000 tax refund on top of no longer being eligible or no longer needing to pay those $5,000 in tax liabilities. A tax deduction instead reduces the amount of your taxable income. The NAA program is a tax credit program, not a tax deduction program, so it won't impact the amount of your taxable income in order to calculate the tax that you owe. It instead will reduce the amount of taxes that you directly owe.
So before I talk about the form that one uses to be able to take advantage of the program, I want to point out that because the companies participating in this program benefit from a tax-deductible contribution to a charitable 501c3 organization, and then get a 100% tax credit on top of that, means that they actually benefit more than getting a dollar for dollar. In a sense, the companies that participate actually make money by participating in this program because their tax liability is reduced thanks to the charitable contribution, and then that reduced tax liability is offset with 100% dollar for dollar credit from the Department of Revenue Services. So first, the step is the taxes reduced because of the liability being reduced thanks to the charitable contribution, and then the voucher that provides the 100% tax credit is applied after the deduction so that there is a net gain financially to the companies that participate. And that's something that sounds too good to be true, but it actually is true. And it's one of the reasons why this program has been undersubscribed for the last few years. The NAA02 form is available on the DRS website, and it doesn't become available until the 15th of September. The reason for that is that the applications according to statute, the Connecticut General Statute, which provides the legislation to make this program possible, states that applications will be accepted on or after September 15th of every year, but they must be received by October 1st of every year. So there is basically a 2-week window in which companies have to be able to take a look at the form. It's a 1-page form. It requires very little information, things like the name of the company and the tax ID number, and then the signature of the person who's authorizing the participation and committing the contribution. And it's very, very simple. And if you just basically, I know it says be here when available, but if you just type into a search engine, Connecticut CT NAA, CT space NAA, you'll get right to the first thing that'll pop up. It'll be the Department of Revenue Services and the website that's webpage that directs you to that. So it's very, very simple to apply. Probably a 5-minute application, and then the Department of Revenue Services will get it online, and you'll be good to go.
Okay, yeah, so that is kind of the basics about our programs, about the NAA tax credit program. If anybody has any questions, we're going to stay on for a little while. I put a link that goes to the Neighborhood Assistance Act tax credit program website, which has all of the links for how to apply, the 2024 approved Connecticut NAA program proposals, of which all 3 of ours are listed, and can help you kind of learn more about the program more in detail. I'm also going to put my email address, my contact information in the chat, and that will also be in our follow-up with the recording and the slideshow of this the slideshow here. So yeah, if anybody has any questions, we're going to stay on for a little while. And
Looks like Kim does here.
Kim,
okay.
Kim is someone who purchased one of our houses a number of years ago. So Kim, what's your question?
My question, you can hear me, right?
Yep.
Okay, just making sure. Sorry. My question is, I am currently looking to implement the heat pump system. How would this work for me? I've already done the application with My Heart. I am currently working with, I believe her name is Carmen. So how would this work for me? I have the solar panels already. I am truly trying to be energy efficient from top to bottom here.
Great question, Kim. And thanks for participating in this webinar. You would be working with Carmen. Our I Heart My Home provides people who want to undertake the energy efficiency improvements with all of the available incentive programs. And as you know from my initial statements, that if you're income eligible, you may actually be qualified to receive a grant from the contributions we receive. You wouldn't be participating directly in the program because you're not a corporation that's subject to Connecticut corporate tax or some taxes that are qualified for it, but you may be a recipient, a beneficiary of the money that we receive in contributions for the energy conservation measures that you're going to be implementing.
Okay, so the September 15th date, I don't need to worry about trying to fill out the form. I just need to concentrate on working with Miss Carmen.
Exactly. There's no time deadline for that. This is for companies that are, that want to participate in providing the money that we're going to be, part of which we're going to be giving out, depending on which program they decide to support, giving out to individuals who are income eligible. There is strict income eligibility requirements, that you can look at on the website, but for receiving the grants. But I want to just reassure you that the contributions that we get through this program are what make it possible for us to provide the incentive grants for people to benefit from. So you're not bound by any of the timelines. Continue working with Carmen, and I believe that she will be able to, to get you all of the information and the improvements that you need. It may take a little bit of time because there are a lot of programs out there that that you can benefit from, but she's very good and very customer friendly, and so let us all know about how you make out with the energy conservation improvements that you're looking to make on your house.
Okay, I will.
Good, thank you so much.
Thank you.
And I just said in the chat that I can let Carmen know that you're interested and have her reach out.
Mm-hmm. Oh no, I have to actually give her some information back. So we're kind of working. Well, not kind of. We are actually working together. So I just wanted to be a part of this to see, how it could be helpful for me. But
Great.
Thank you.
Any other questions from anyone?
Anyone else with questions? Definitely want to get companies involved to support this great program.
Anna has a question in the chat. How do other nonprofit organizations receive the grant or enroll in the program? Jed, I think you applied for us last year. Would you want to speak on that?
Yeah, absolutely. So if you go to the website that I linked in the chat, there is a how to apply link just right at the top. So what you're going to do is fill out the form NAA01, and that has to be done before July 1st of each year. So you wouldn't be able to enroll this year as a nonprofit that would receive that, but you would be able to enroll next year. It's a very simple application, similar to the second form for companies. I think it's about 3 pages. You email it to, I think Kathy Schroeder for New Haven, but I think there's a specific.
Every municipality has a liaison because the applications need to be submitted through the liaison and then to the legislative body and get approval. It's sort of a complex project. In New Haven, Kathy Schroeder is the person who coordinates the program and gathers the applications from all the different nonprofits, submits it to the Board of Alders, and then they approve it, and then send it back to Kathy, and she sends it back to the Department of Revenue Services by a certain date. I imagine that in other municipalities it works similarly, but I can only speak for how it works in New Haven. But if you're talking about a nonprofit that's located elsewhere, I would suggest that the nonprofit contacts Department of Revenue Services and asks who the liaison is, whom they contact, so that they can get the ball rolling for next year.
I'm also happy to touch base offline if you want to talk through it. It is so you put your application in by July 1st, and then it gets approved by the Board of Alders. It goes to DRS. It has to be approved there. So it can be kind of the timeline of it can be a little challenging if you do want to talk about that.
Yeah. Also, keep in mind that different projects do have different, amounts that you can receive, that corporations receive in tax credits for your contributions. So energy efficiency projects, and I guess now college loan forgiveness, corporations receive 100% for those kinds of projects in tax credits. But for other projects, which I think there's just a very wide range of different projects that are eligible for a 60% tax credit instead. NHS is doing all energy efficiency projects across our 3 501c3 organizations. So all of those are eligible for the 100% tax credit, but depending on the project and organization, it might instead be a 60% corporate tax credit. So just keep that in mind. And again, definitely encourage you to reach out to Jet and talk through this more.
And we also encourage anybody who's on this call, attending this webinar, to spread the word to others who are in or represent other companies that may be subject to the Connecticut corporate income tax. The Department of Revenue Services keeps a tight lid on which companies have certain tax liabilities. I guess it's a confidentiality thing regarding tax returns. But everybody who is incorporated as a C Corp, not as an LLC or a sub S Corp, they know who they are and they can participate. And we urge you to be able to spread the word. Most companies rely on their tax accountants for guidance in terms of whether or not the programs are real and they benefit them. And so if anybody knows people who are tax accountants, and it can alert them to this or send them the link to the recorded version of this webinar, it would be possible for a number of companies that don't know about it to participate. And we welcome spreading the word about it, because September 15th is very, very close in time, and a lot needs to happen between now and then.
All right. Well, thank you, Jim and Raymond and Jet. Great presentation. As was mentioned, this is something that all nonprofits can take part in. Obviously, there's a process you have to follow to become qualified, but also an opportunity for companies to get involved with local organizations. So hope everyone has a great day, and we will set this up as a recording that you can watch again. Thank you.
Thank you, Garrett, for facilitating this. We really appreciate it.
Definitely.